He conquered Monaco, tasted victory at Le Mans, and even clinched the Formula One crown twice. But Graham Hill's story ended not on the podium, but in a devastating plane crash. Let's remember this racing giant and the shocking event that silenced his engine forever. Norman Graham Hill, often just called Graham Hill, was a remarkable British racing driver born on February 15, 1929. He's famous for winning the Formula One World Championship twice, in 1962 and 1968, and nearly winning it 3 more times. What makes his story even more impressive is that he didn't pass his driving test until he was 24 years old and only got into motorsports a year later. Despite this late start, Hill became one of the top drivers of his time. Hill is particularly famous for winning what's called the Triple Crown of Motorsport. This means he won 3 of the biggest races around: the Indianapolis 500, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and the Formula One World Drivers' Championship. He's the only one to have done this by the traditional measure, and even as definitions have changed to include winning the Monaco Grand Prix instead of the Formula One Championship, Hill's record still stands unique because he won the Monaco Grand Prix 5 times in the 1960s, earning him the nickname Mr. Monaco. Unfortunately, Hill's career faced a major setback in 1969, when he crashed at the United States Grand Prix, severely injuring his legs and cutting his season short. He recovered and continued racing until 1975, but he never quite returned to his previous form. His last big win was at the Monaco Grand Prix earlier in 1969. After this, he tried racing a bit here and there and thought maybe he'd gain his momentum again. But no one knew that life had different plans for him, plans so sinister they would make your skin crawl. But before we get into his ultimate tragedy, make sure to like and subscribe. On a chilly November evening in 1975, a tragic story unfolded that shook the racing world. Graham was flying his own plane, a Piper Aztec, back to London. He and his team had just wrapped up testing their new car, the Hill GH2, in southern France, and they were eager to get home. The plan was to land at Elstree Airfield near London, but the weather had other ideas. Despite the bad visibility, Hill decided to go ahead and try to land. But as they got close to the airfield, something went wrong. The plane lost contact with air traffic control and, in the dense fog, accidentally clipped a tree on the Arkley golf course, just 3 miles from the airfield. This small mistake had a huge consequence. The plane crashed into a grove of trees, and sadly, everyone on board died instantly. Along with Hill, the crash took the lives of 5 other members of his team. Tony Bryce, a promising young driver, Ray Brimble, the team manager, Terry Richards and Graham Duckworth, both mechanics, and Tony Alcock, a designer. The accident was a massive blow to the motorsport community. The official report later suggested that the foggy conditions probably caused Hill to become disoriented, leading to the crash. It was a heartbreaking end to a journey that began with so much excitement about their new car. The story reminds us of how quickly things can change, and it left the racing world mourning the loss of these talented individuals and the end of the Embassy Hill team. At just 46, this legend was gone. People thought his legacy would disappear into thin air, but it's fans like us who truly and genuinely keep the legends alive. If you're as big of a fan as us, make sure to keep watching the career life of Graham Hill and why he truly was a legend. What really sets Graham Hill apart is this amazing achievement called the Triple Crown of Motorsport. It's a feat that, as of 2024, no other driver has been able to match. The Triple Crown is all about winning 3 big races: the Indianapolis 500, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and the Formula One World Championship. Some people swap out the F1 Championship for the Monaco Grand Prix, but either way, Hill is the only one who has won all 3. But Hill's journey wasn't always smooth. In 1969, during the United States Grand Prix, he had a serious crash that left him with broken legs. He did make a comeback, but things were never quite the same after that. His last Formula One victory came earlier that year at Monaco. Beyond the racetrack, Graham Hill was also a bit of a TV star in Britain during the 1970s. He had this quick wit and easygoing charm that made people enjoy watching him, whether he was racing or just chatting on screen. After his time with the Brabham team, Hill decided to start his own racing team in 1973, which he named Embassy Hill. He kept racing until 1975, but after failing to qualify for that year's Monaco Grand Prix, he decided it was time to hang up his helmet and focus on managing the team. Sadly, later that year, Hill's life was tragically cut short when the plane he was flying crashed in fog near London, killing him and 5 members of his team. Graham Hill's story is one of determination and passion. He grew up in London in a pretty regular family. His dad was a stockbroker. After attending Hendon Technical College, he started working as an apprentice engineer, but life had some twists and turns in store for him. He was conscripted into the Royal Navy, where he served as an engine room artificer. After his time in the Navy, he returned to engineering, but fate had a different path planned. Hill's entry into racing was almost accidental. One day, he saw an ad for the Universal Motor Racing Club at Brands Hatch, offering people a chance to drive laps for a small fee. He gave it a try, and that one experience lit a fire in him. Before long, he was working as a mechanic for Team Lotus. His driving skills didn't go unnoticed, and soon he got his chance to race in Formula One, debuting at the Monaco Grand Prix in 1958. Hill was known for his meticulous approach to racing. He'd spend hours with his mechanics, making sure everything on his car was just right. This dedication paid off when he won his first World Championship with BRM in 1962, and then again with Lotus in 1968. But Hill didn't just stick to Formula One, he raced in the British Saloon Car Championship, and even played a role in developing the legendary Lotus 49 car. And we can't forget his big win at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1972, which completed his Triple Crown. Before all the racing, Hill had a deep love for rowing. He credited the sport with teaching him discipline and perseverance, qualities that certainly helped him in his racing career. Even after he became a racing star, he stayed connected to rowing. He even used the colours of his rowing club for his racing helmet, a tradition his son Damon and grandson Josh continued. Graham Hill's story is one of passion, resilience, and a bit of luck. He might have started late, but once he found his path, there was no stopping him. His achievements on the track, along with his charming personality off it, have made sure that his name remains a cornerstone of motorsport history. Despite his late start in racing, Hill achieved remarkable success, including winning the prestigious Triple Crown of Motorsport, a feat unmatched to this day. Yet his journey was abruptly cut short in a plane crash, a somber reminder of how quickly triumph can turn to tragedy. Hill's legacy, however, endures beyond his untimely death. It's through the stories we share and the races we remember that the spirit of legends like Graham Hill continues to inspire and influence the racing world. So, let's keep his memory alive, celebrate his achievements, and learn from the resilience he displayed both on and off the racetrack.